Hello students, welcome back to our online session. Last week we discussed about lesson number 12, food for all. Now in this session I am going to teach you remaining part of the lesson. Children, we studied that every farmer wishes to get a good harvest. A good harvest provides a good income. That is why farmers are taking different efforts to get good harvest. So let us study which effort farmers are taking. First one is protection of crops. Diseases and pest attacks can damage crops in the fields. As a remedy, insecticides and pesticides are sprayed on crops or certain chemicals are rubbed on the seed before sowing. Now here two new words came, insecticides and pesticides. Insecticides means what? It is a one kind of chemical which kills insect which harm to the crops, and pesticide, it is also one kind of chemical which kills pest. Pest means harmful living things which harm to the crops. By spraying insecticides and pesticides, farmer can prevent the crops from insects also and pest also. Our next effort is storage of grain. Storing the harvested crop safely is as important as increasing the production. What steps are taken for this purpose? The grain is dried well in the sun and filled in sacks. Children, you can see in the picture how the grain is dried well in the sun and filled in a sack. The sacks are then stocked in the house or after selling in warehouses or shops. Stored grain can get damaged in two ways. Mice, rats and insects can spoil the grain to a great extent. Also, if the grain is stored in a closed and damp space, it catches fungus and become unfit for eating. To prevent such damage by pests, chemicals are sprayed at the place of storage or all around it. Neem leaves are mixed in the grain. Some protective chemicals that can be mixed with the grain are also available in the market. You must have seen that your mommy first she is drying wheat. Before storing, she is keeping the wheat in sunlight. And after drying, she is putting some chemicals like boric acid or neem leaves, and some injections are also available in the market. Because of this neem leaves or medicine, because of the smell of these chemicals, it repels insect. Storage places are always kept dry and airy to prevent fungus formation. So these are the method, these are the efforts which is taken by farmer to earn more money. Okay. Now let's have a look another point, that is food storage and conservation of environment. Like humans, other living things also store food. Each of them has a different way of doing it. Insects like ants store food. Bees collect nectar from flowers and store in a honeycomb in the form of honey. Squirrels store seeds. Because these animals store food, it is available to them when they need it. Okay, like human beings, these animals, they are also storing food grains, seeds, when they are in need. All the time, plants are busy producing the food they need. Even so, there are some plants that store food. You are familiar with bulbs of plants such as onions and garlics and tubers such as potatoes, ginger, etc. Listen. Bulbs of plants such as onions and garlic and tubers such as potatoes, gingers, etc. They are all parts of the stem of the plants. Radishes, sweet potatoes, beetroots are the roots of their plants. These plants store food in their stems or roots. Means they store the food in extra amount, and when they need that time they take that food material in the time of need. We too store food in our homes according to our needs. In India, due to the improved method of cultivation, we now produce plenty of food grains. The production exceeds the demands. The surplus food grain is stored in used warehouses. Sometimes production is affected by disasters such as floods, drought, a cyclone or hailstorm. Now also our India, we are suffering with floods. Floods means overflow of the rivers. Now in our India there is a heavy rainfall. So on the news channels we can see the pictures of floods. Really it affects to the farm. Not only farm but it also affects on human settlement also. There is a great damage. Financial also and human loss also. So it is a very bad disaster. Now also our India is facing flood. So at such times the stored surplus grain can be used for the people. It can also be used for the people displaced due to disasters like an earthquake. Now in our India, corona pandemic is going on. So government means they are suggesting us not to go out of the house to remain safe. So those who are poor, those who are living below the poverty line, for them governments are giving them free ration system. So you must have visit to fair price shop.